You are now tuned in to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, where we will be discussing actual audio and visual clips captured during the team's investigations. Hear firsthand eyewitness accounts from fellow team members and special guests. Now smash that like, subscribe, and follow button, and let's get ready to welcome team leader and your host, Eric Vanderlaan, and tech specialist and co-host, Mike Delcoro.
What is up, everybody? Yep, we're a little bit late, right, Mike?
That's right.
A little bit of technical difficulties. It's all my fault, so I take the blame. But you know how I am, so we may get on a bumpy road, but we'll smooth out the ship later tonight, right, Mike?
That's right. Let's go.
And I'm Eric. I'm your host of the War Party Paranormal Radio Show and team leader of War Party Paranormal. And right over there.
What's up, guys? My name is Mike Delcoro. I am your co-host and investigator and case manager with War Party Paranormal. And we got a great show for you tonight. And I'm going to let Eric tell you what we're getting into.
I'm extremely excited. We got an amazing young lady, Sophia Temperilli. She's known as the Ghost Host, and she's amazing. She's been in this like for a long time, longer than us, and she's quite young. So I'm very excited to have her. And first of all, I want to welcome back Mike. He was under the weather last week, but he's going strong and kicking ass.
All good
right?
now. That's right.
All right. You want to see the intro I made?
Let's do it. Let's see it.
Okay. It's 3 parts. I'm going to try to run it all the way through smoothly.
All right. Let's go.
You ready? Fasten your seatbelts. Here we go.
Get a little scared.
Most of us only think about the paranormal this time of year. One local teen investigates the afterlife all year round.
Yeah, CBS 2's Stephanie Simmons introduces us to the young woman gaining a national audience as the Ghost Host.
My name is Sophia Temperilli. I'm 16 years old.
She may look like a typical teenager, busy with school and family during the week, but when Saturday comes, things get a little scary.
For me, it's just a fascination of the unknown, the stories behind it, the myths and legends behind different things.
Perhaps spawned from her parents' fascination with paranormal activity, ever since she was a little girl, Sophia has been obsessed with ghosts.
If you're here, can you speak with us?
So much so that she's turned it into a job, unpaid, at least for now.
One day said to my parents, I want to do a radio show, and I was 12 years old. I am a believer in ghosts and stuff. I interview people from all spectrums of the paranormal, demonologists, investigators, sometimes skeptics.
For the last 4 years, Sophia has gone by the name The Ghost Host and has featured all walks of life and afterlife on her radio show, which can be heard on liveparanormal.com.
It really makes you wonder, how do these ghosts get here? I know there's not ghosts from like the 1700s. You don't really see ghosts like that. You don't see ghosts from dinosaur times. It's like the question that most people want to know is like, what happens to ghosts at a certain point? They just disappear.
Sophia has a connection to one of the most haunted landmarks in Southern California.
the Queen Mary.
It was the first place I ever investigated when I was 8 years old. I've always had like a natural connection to the ship. But from investigating there, I saw a ghost there on my first investigation.
It was her knowledge of the ship's phantom friends that caught the attention of the Travel Channel, which recently featured Sophia on their show Ghost Adventures.
I would probably say the most eeriest experience I had, even beyond having a ghost watch me while I was sleeping. I went into the pool area and that ghost made me feel so uncomfortable, I literally started panicking because I just felt like I needed to get out of there. I've never felt that way ever in my entire life.
Sophia says she'll continue to find new places to track ghosts, both locally and abroad, while also entertaining and informing fans over the airwaves about paranormal activity.
Halloween's always been my favorite holiday though, so.
In Long Beach, Stephanie Simmons, CBS 2 News.
Pretty cool, right, Mike?
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
And I know the interview on the news interview dates back a few years, but she's still very young and very impressive what she has under her belt and what she's been doing, and all these amazing celebrities that in the paranormal world that she's been interviewing throughout all these years. So without further ado,
I noticed one of the interviews in the picture was one of our previous team members. I think that was Sarah, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like Sarah that she was interviewing in one of the photos.
We'll ask her. So without further ado, let's bring on Sophia Temperilli. Bam.
Hey guys. Oh my god, I haven't seen that in so long. That was like an out-of-body experience. And like, and everything, and I'm like, jeez. Oh my god.
Why did you do that?
That was a jump scare if I've ever seen one. I was like, oh my god. Oh wow, my teacher
How
said
long ago was that? You're 25 now, right?
Yeah, I'm 25, so like 9 years ago.
Oh wow.
But yeah, my hair's a lot different. I couldn't breathe, so I had a nose job. I'm like, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have asked you first.
No, it's totally fine. It's on the internet forever. So it doesn't.
Well, if your parents are watching, they're probably getting a little bit teary-eyed.
No, I don't care. My grandma, I'll send her this interview because my dad's adopted, so he just met his birth mom. And so I've been sending her all the interviews I'm doing, and I keep forgetting to send her that interview from CBS. So she'll now see it when I send her this. Hey, Grandma Maggie. No, it's totally cool. I've been doing this so long, that stuff's out there, but I just it's so weird to look back. Oh my god.
So let me ask you a question real quick. Do you remember about what happened when you were in the pool area of the Queen Mary?
Yeah, I mean, so that particular instance when I was investigating with Ghost Adventures, I mean, I had seen this shadow figure in the pool area for a really long time. Hi, thank you. That was a very kind comment. And I had seen him since I was a little girl, so probably, I don't know, 8 or 9. I had started seeing him, and I called him the Shadow Man. He lingers. He was very creepy. Kind of hung out in the dressing room area. He doesn't like me. I don't like him. That's very about as far as our mutual interests go. And just that night, the pool area, for anyone who's been there, it's normally super low lighting. I actually just saw a picture of it recently, and they, I guess, changed the light bulbs or something. It's like really bright. I'm like, okay, why couldn't you guys have done that then? Because with the Shadow Man, he kind of just hung out in the back of the pool area in very low lighting, like I said. And that night with Ghost Adventures was the first time it was pitch black. And when I say it was like a completely different beast, it was like this entity fed off of the darkness in the room. So I wanted to say, like, it sounds kind of weird, but it was like I could see him in multiple places at once, which doesn't make sense to me to this day. So if anyone wants me to explain that, I wish I could. And so I wanted to say, like, this is the Shadow Man. And every time I went to go say that, I would feel like I was going to cry. So I never got the chance to say it. And actually, he was on the upper right-hand balcony if you're facing the pool area. And Zach had actually got rushed by a ghost. My mom heard the footsteps running at him. So it kind of confirmed that he was there, but I never actually got to voice that. And then shortly after, we went to the pool area with our friend, who's Aaron Goodwin's sister, Amy Goodwin. And it was my first time back in the pool area after that investigation. And I just felt like if we stayed there, something bad was going to happen. So it kind of sent me into a panic because, I don't know, it was like he had some type of hold over me. And so, yeah, I really don't go in the pool area after that just because he weirds me out.
The reason I ask
yeah, I'm sure.
One of the reasons I asked because that kind of stuck out in my mind when I was watching that because we had Brandon Alvis on the show, and the way he explained it was he gave somebody that was with him a camera and they weren't really paying attention. They were just kind of walking around doing one of these, and years later he was going through the footage and he has a picture of an apparition that they captured on video, like I guess in the bathroom right there next to the pool area.
Yeah, so there are actually the dressing rooms. I don't know if there used to be showers in there, but it's the dressing room that's never lit up. It's always completely pitch black in there. I know the video from Brandon that you're talking about. I think he believes that Jackie's in it. So there's actually multiple ghosts in the pool area. One that Peter James originally connected with. Hey, Bill. And her name is Jackie, a little girl who apparently drowned in the pool area. And another ghost that Peter had found, oh my god, I'm blanking on her name, but it was of a older young woman, like probably 20s or 30s. And then the guy I see, which is the Shadow Man. So there's definitely multiple spirits in the pool area.
Wow. And that's what got you hooked into the paranormal. Was it the Queen Mary?
Yeah, so the first investigation I ever was on was on the Queen Mary during what was Peter James' final tour. But I think
before that, you were telling me in the studio that your parents were going to go there, and you're like, you better bring me along.
Well, they did go. They did go without me for their anniversary. No, I did go, but that was the one after. It was for their anniversary, so they went, and then Peter would give out his number after every tour and email. And so they emailed him and said, hey, our 8-year-old daughter wants to go on this tour. Is it safe to bring her? And he said, there's over 500 ghosts on the ship. They're all my friends. So I went on the following tour. They went in April. I went in May. But I believe I've had paranormal experiences since before I can even remember. I did live in a haunted house. We didn't realize it was haunted until after I joined the paranormal. Well, my whole family did. But looking back, there were little things that don't quite make sense now. That, looking back, you're just like, okay, in hindsight, that was definitely abnormal, probably paranormal. But in the moment, it's stuff that you kind of brush off. Or you're like, that's weird, but then you forget about it and you move on with your life.
Yeah, the paranormal speaks in subtleties, and a lot of times, if you're not like paying attention or looking for it, you might just be like, I don't know. I don't know what that was. Something explainable, and then you kind of brush it off. But then, if you, and that's kind of the way that you're programmed as a child. Maybe a little different for you because your parents are into the paranormal, but most people, it's kind of like discouraged to bring it up or whatever, and then until you start. And once you're into the paranormal and you go, oh, wow, wait a minute, that might have been something going on.
Well, you know what? We're talking about that. And my question is, so when you're young and you're a child, your mind's more open. So there's more of a possibility that you're going to interact with a spirit. So you started so young, but you just built off that. So I'm assuming you got some type of talent where you're sensitive.
Yeah, I'm definitely sensitive. I wouldn't say I'm a psychic. I can't like walk into a building and tell you who's there. I say it a lot on interviews, so I feel bad for people who listen to them, but I come
No,
back to
everyone,
that
it works
guy.
different. It works. There are people that are sensitive and
Yeah.
everyone has it. They just don't know it. The
Well,
ones that don't, and you
I
work on it.
compare it to that Geico commercial where the guy's like, I'm a dental monitor. Can you fix my cavity? He's like, no, I'm a dental monitor. I'm not a dentist. So I can tell you if something's there. I can't help you beyond that. And
Right.
so for me, I mean, before I joined the paranormal, I don't even remember this, but we were talking about it recently with me doing some interviews recently. I used to kind of in my old house, I would freeze up with my back against the door into the garage, and people would call me. My grandma even remembers this, and I wouldn't move until my mom came and touched me. I would just stand there frozen. And so looking back, it was stuff like that we think I was seeing something. But in the
Right.
moment, I was young enough to walk and obviously, tell that there was something there, but not old enough to really articulate or even say what I was
Yeah.
seeing or
Yeah.
going through.
Right.
So I didn't find out about this until much later, but it's one of those things, like I said, where you look back and it's like, okay, that wasn't just like some weird thing that a 2-year-old does. Cause I don't know, kids sometimes do like really weird, creepy things because
Yeah.
that's just what they do. But it was something looking back that, my whole family takes into account and is like, okay, that was different. Even my grandma said like it used to scare her when I would do that.
Oh wow.
And because she couldn't do anything, I wouldn't move.
Sure, that would be like a little creepy. Like,
yeah,
what's
like
going
I
on?
said,
There's
like
right.
and
there's
they're
just
like
like
frozen.
creepy things kids do, and then sometimes in
Sophia's turning
hindsight,
into an Annabelle.
my dad still thinks I am. I think he's the child from The Omen that grew up, so it's a family affair. But it's stuff like that, and then
I was a rebel as a teen.
and like my parents had the house blessed when they moved in. My grandfather, my dad's adopted, but his father used to guard the Pope in Vatican.
Oh, very cool.
So they had the house blessed when they moved in after he passed away, and apparently the like chain on the door would like swing when that was going on. And so it was stuff like that was like weird, but then you just kind of move on, don't think about it again. And so there was stuff that kind of added up to where, yes, I did start my interest at 8, but also I think it was ingrained in me from long before then.
Right. You were just curious. You needed answers, Sophia, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I need answers. And I try and keep that in mind with the like curiosity killed the cat thing, because like I want answers, but like, do I want to know what's going on at Goatman Bridge? No, I don't. So I've also learned over time that there's some things that I just don't want to learn about.
Yeah, that's true. And when you do investigate, you protect yourself after, especially like maybe that incident that the shadow figure at Queen Mary.
No, I don't. And let
Okay.
me explain why. So living in a haunted house was one of the worst periods in my life. I was stalked by the ghost in that house. So I lived there basically from the time I came home from the hospital until I moved out at 11, and we started, well, me specifically started recognizing that it was haunted and there was a ghost in the house around the age of 9. And it was like being in a prison. There was nothing I could do, nothing anyone could do. We had people come and sage the house, everything, and nothing made it better. Nothing made me feel safer. And so for me, going into an investigation, like being protective in theory sounds good. And for some people it works. I'm not going to shoot down what happens with other people. But me personally, I just think if a spirit wants to do something to you, they're going to. And there was nothing I could do at that age to stop it. And I just don't think there's anything I could do at this age that would prevent that if a spirit really wanted to cause harm.
Right. And that doesn't stop you from investigating, right?
No, I figure I have enough trauma, just keep riding with it. It's there with me every day.
Trauma in my life. It's my
I have
escape.
enough trauma, so I'm just like, just go with it.
I mean, this is our escape, Mike and I mean, going out, like, all our issues at work and maybe with family, like just to go to some kick-ass place that's haunted and investigate it. I mean, that's the best escape for me right there.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
oh, go ahead.
no, it's
I was
okay.
just gonna say there's a beauty in the abandon, I think, and I think we all kind of feel that way. There's some sort of hi Lonnie, hi Joshua. There's some sort of kind of peace and serenity in just, being there and getting to experience the locations. Especially, if it's at night, you don't have the world around you. You don't have like the every day-to-day busyness. You're just there experiencing whatever history is there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the things too I love about just getting out there and investigating too. Even if sometimes you're somewhere and you're just alone in the dark and you're in the moment, you don't have your phone in front of you, you're not in front of a computer, you're sitting there and you're in the moment and you're listening and you're hearing and you're listening to the surroundings, and it's almost peaceful in a way. I mean, it can be scary too sometimes.
We some crazy people, I can tell you that.
But
yeah,
but
you get that too.
But just to disconnect and and be in the moment, it's awesome. I love it.
Absolutely, and I think the history too is so important.
Yeah.
As I've grown up in the paranormal, just who I am as a person and my interests have changed. I mean, I still have interest in, obviously, the abandoned. I think it's so cool. I mean, I live in the city, so seeing things that I can't just walk around the corner and go see is really fun for me. Now that I've gotten to experience that because I live in the city. But, I've had a greater appreciation for history, and just what you can find out about places that you may not think are haunted, or things that tie to the Queen Mary. Take that for instance. It was an ocean liner. Yes, it was part of World War II, but it was a luxury ocean liner. You had all these famous stars going on it, and so it has so much more to it. And if you're interested in World War II, you can go there and step back in time to learn more about that period. If you're interested in old Hollywood, you can go see, the pictures of Clark Gable and everyone on there. So
very cool.
When you have this interest in history and stuff, I think you have a greater appreciation for the locations, because you can find out not just about the locations, but also the things that interest you, whether it's film or, like I said, war. And it ties into all facets of human interest.
Yeah, totally agree.
I think you're so cool because I'm gonna make my kids watch this episode because they think I'm the biggest nerd and they hate history. It was funny because like my daughter, she's 21, she's a junior in college, and my son just graduated high school, and they used to be embarrassed of me. Like I would tease my daughter.
I would be too.
Well, not of me, but when I talked about ghost hunting, come on, okay. Dad, can you like not talk about that? Or like if my daughter was going to bring over a boyfriend to the house, I'm like, Zach's coming over. That's awesome. I can show him all my equipment and my YouTube. And then later on that day, Zach never came over, and I'm like, Emily, how come Zach didn't come over? And I'm like, so yeah. But they're starting to warm up to it now. They're starting to think it's cool. So I guess when you get older.
Well, it's finding your interest too. Like I said, I mean, if you have an interest in war or this, I mean, history, like my parents love documentaries. I cannot sit through a documentary. I think it's finding ways to, obtain information that is interesting to you. Yeah. And for me, I'll sit on my phone like all day, like researching stuff. If I'm watching a movie, I'll look up all the trivia facts. I'll look at the cast members. Like I just can't help myself. So I think it's also
part of the entertainment.
Yeah, it's finding ways to where when you learn information, it's palatable. And sometimes when it's in school or just told to you, it's not fun because it reminds you of school. Yeah. And so I think that's the thing about the paranormal too. Is
sometimes I look back and I go, man, I wish I paid a little bit more attention in history because, I have to go back and research this. Now I have more of a passion for history than I did when I was younger because of the paranormal, and the way that it ties into each other so well. But yeah, I found myself going, shoot, was that? I got to go look this up. I'm like, damn it, I should have paid more attention to
Good
school.
old Google, right?
Yeah,
Anything
exactly.
on that. But Sophia,
Yeah.
you would like this. So our team, War Party Paranormal, we're non-for-profit. We actually, the main role of our team is to help people that have problems in the paranormal, and we're non-for-profit. We don't charge a dime, but what we do is we do events at historical locations. They're museums, and they all have activity. So it's awesome when you have a historian with you and you're investigating and you get evidence, and she can verify that with the history. I mean, that's all you can look for, that just makes everything so much sweeter when you're investigating.
Oh yeah, I have the utmost respect for historians in the field, because man, that's a lot of work trying to sift through what's factual or what's just telephone through history, and his started off true and then just ended up somewhere obscure. And so it's nice to have someone that's sole interest is finding that, because it's a lot. I don't think I could sit in a library and just go through things. I'm not ADHD,
my
but at the
ADD,
same time,
yeah,
I can't. I'm
Well,
I'm
I
a
am.
visual person, so I have to see things.
The only thing I stay focused on is ghosts, and that's about it. Well, I try other things.
It
I work on
works
it.
though. I mean, you're doing
definitely.
great.
So, Mike, we're at the half point time. Halftime. We got to pay bills, Sophia.
Yeah, we got a couple ads from our sponsors that we got to run, and we'll be right back, folks.
What is up, my paranormal peeps? You may be wondering why we're holding something like these in our hand, and my buddy's going to tell you all about it.
The reason that we have this paranormal equipment in our hand is because we're giving a big shout out to the Ghost Hunter store, one of our sponsors. They're your one-stop shop for everything paranormal.
That's right, and you may have seen some of these equipment on your favorite paranormal TV shows.
Exactly, especially the Haunted Files on Paraflix.
Mike's got that right.
All right, guys, so check them out, and if you use the code word Ghost Gone Wild,
not Girls Gone Wild,
Ghost Gone Wild, in your checkout, you'll get a discount on your purchase. Thank you, guys.
Peace. What's up, my paranormal people? Eric and Mike here from the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, wanting you to remember the importance of hydration. Remember, we hunt ghosts. We don't want to turn into ghosts. Dehydration can lead to inflammation and even degenerative disease, so hydration is crucial.
Whether you're up all night investigating the paranormal, sky watching, or Bigfoot, Fuel Up Hydration System is designed to support motivation, concentration, and rejuvenation with the best immune-enhancing delivery system available today.
Experience the benefits of Fuel Up with their Feel the Difference money-back guarantee.
Visit fuelup.gg/warparty for their special offer that includes free shipping. Fuel Up for life. Hey, Eric, how do we do?
It's awesome.
All right. Well, maybe we should stick to hunting ghosts. I don't know if commercials is our thing.
True that.
Always makes
All right. So, yeah, Fuel Up will work in steamy, hot LA, right?
Yeah. I was
texting
my mom, please turn the AC off. I'm sitting under the vent, so I'm trying not to look like a chihuahua during the show.
Oh,
So,
wow. Okay.
I was like, please turn the air off. They finally got the message. Yeah, my dad's like, they're gonna be on this Saturday, and I'm like, I know, but the AC though, because it's really warm out, but my desk is under the vent, so I was just like,
Okay, it's not anything that's haunted, right? It's on a cold spot, unusual cold spot going on there. I'm just teasing.
But if power went out, I would be more than happy for that. Mine bedroom has the sun hit it during the day, so that's welcome occasionally.
All right, cool.
So also,
So
guys, we have a little show called The Haunted Files on Paraflix. I don't know if you're
we
aware
do.
of that, but if you we just dropped a new episode last Friday. We'd love for you guys to check it out. We got to investigate the infamous old South Pittsburgh hospital, and it
Crazy.
was a crazy investigation.
Mm.
Probably one of the top episodes, I think, so far. So
One
we're
of the
in
most memorable probably investigations we've done. For me, like I would say it's right up there, like top 2, 3.
yeah, for sure. And
Get
this
out,
is
Sophia, South Pittsburgh.
this is towards the end of season 2. We're getting ready to have a couple more episodes, and then that'll be a wrap for the season, and we'll be working on season 3. So, but here's a a quick little trailer. So if you guys, it's out now. So if you sign up to Paraflix and you enter the code The Haunted Files 25, you get 25% off your annual subscription. It's very, very affordable. It comes out to like $3-4 a month, something like that. There's also a 3-day trial period if you want to check it out. So I'm gonna shut up and play the trailer. The old South Pittsburgh Hospital, located in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, is a historic building that has gained notoriety for its reputation as being haunted. Originally opening its doors in 1959 as a medical facility, it served the community for decades before closing its doors in the late 1990s. Reports of strange occurrences, such as disembodied voices, apparitions, and unexplained sounds have fueled the hospital's reputation as a haunted location. Tonight, the Haunted Files team is going to see if they can document these reports. Oh, shit. Do you like this stuffed dinosaur? Yes. Leave. I felt there's something brushed my arm, and I just got chills real bad.
So Sophia, Mike just recently got married, and we did a bachelor road trip instead of like a bachelor party.
Mm-hmm.
And what we did is we went to 3 paranormal locations, and 2 of them we filmed episodes for the Haunted Files. So we started in Savannah, where we went to the Moon River Brewery, super
Mm-hmm.
haunted, and oh my god, we just got the worst news that they're going to be tearing it down.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah,
They closed it down.
they're closing it down. And Mike, you sent me an article. I didn't read it. They said they were going to tear it down.
So it's not an official statement, but somebody wrote in a report and said there was plans for them to tear it down and build like a 7-story condominium.
That's crazy. Yeah. Such a
Right.
piece of history.
I know it was the first hotel in Savannah, luxury hotel. So a lot
Back
of
in like
history there.
the late 1800s, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, it was a good thing we got to check it out.
yeah, I wanted to go back. Oh man, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and then we went to the old hospital on College Hill, and then South Pittsburgh Hospital.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a good
5 days.
bachelor party.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
Mike's
that's a
not into
lot.
strip clubs and drinking, so I
Yeah.
mean, what better thing to do?
Yeah, it was fun, and Eric drove the whole time. So
Yeah, I love
Shout out
driving.
Well, that's
Eric.
even better.
I look forward. So,
Yeah, I mean, that's horrible they're tearing it down, though. I mean,
I
it's
know.
crazy. Like,
So sad.
I watched a show called The Vampire Diaries, and the house that they would film in, at least the exterior shots, it was this really intricate looking home, especially inside. And it was built, I think, in the early 1900s. And not only was it famous for being on a famous TV show, but it, there's a lot of history to it. And they tore it down like 7 years ago and built a parking lot over it, I think, which is just crazy to me because like the town where they filmed The Vampire Diaries is literally all about the Vampire Diaries. So first off, tourism you would think would be a high priority, but then also the history, you couldn't have made
That's
that
Covington, Georgia.
Yeah, Covington, Georgia.
Okay.
I don't know where the house was. I think it was outside of Covington, but it's like you couldn't have made that a historical landmark on all of the bases. And so
I
it's crazy
know.
to me.
I know.
I mean, it was such a beautiful home, and just to tear it down like that, just
And,
is so wasteful.
it's even worse down here where we live in South Florida, like the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. There's nothing old here. Everything is like brand new
Mhm.
condos. I mean, they actually were building a condo in downtown Miami and notice that they found an ancient burial site from the I forget what the name of the Indians, not Tequesta. Was it Tequesta? Yeah, Tequesta Indian that dates back thousands of years ago. So instead of, maybe making it some type of memorial or something, they did build the condo. I don't know, maybe it's cool, but the basement where they did the excavation, they kept that intact and put like a clear glass over it so people can come and see it as a memorial that way. So, but I mean, there's like a ton of stuff, and there's like decrepit stuff that's falling apart that I don't know, I wish I had like millions of dollars. I would like buy it and fix it up. But
Yeah, it's just crazy though. I saw Supernatural Eye commenting. Yeah, it was the Salvatore boarding house, and now they have legacies. They picked a different house, and they try and say it's the Salvatore boarding house, but like it's not. And it's just crazy. Yeah, I was looking up. Like I said, I live in LA area. Some of the old Hollywood places, and I would see, these articles that say, "Oh, this place is haunted. This place is haunted." And when I would go look it up, it's gone. And I was like, "What's the
yeah.
point?" I was like, "What's the point? There's nothing around here. It's all been torn down." It was so devastating.
Do
Oh
you
my
ever come out
god.
east? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was about to go on a tangent about Pia Zadora. What were you saying?
No, have you ever been out east on our side?
No, I've taken trips out there, with my aunt, but she wasn't into the paranormal, so, like, if I asked anything
Ah,
about
I
it,
got
she'll tell you about her paranormal experiences, but then also tell you it's not real. So I'm like, "Nina, how's that work?" But no, like, the Pickfair was the home that, Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks owned, and
you.
Pia Zadora bought it, and she tore it down, and she said that she tore it down due to termites, and then few years later, she said she tore it down because it was haunted.
Oh, wow.
It was an older home when Mary Pickford bought it, so it was like a Spanish style home, and I just can't believe she would tear down that history because it was haunted.
I
Yeah,
know.
go buy a new home. I'm sorry, I'm still angry about that. I have Isadora and she doesn't even know I exist.
Now,
Here's a question for you. I want to know what's your theory on that? Like, say, a place is haunted. There's many spirits that remain there, and then they tear it down. What do you think happens with the residents?
I mean, if a place is haunted, I think that, it's just because they tear something down doesn't mean it's not haunted. Maybe it makes the activity worse. Maybe ghosts do move on. I think it really depends on the spirit itself. Like, people. Some people are
yeah,
stubborn. Some people are just like, whatever, go with the wave and move on. So I think it depends on what's actually there,
right.
whether or not they want to move. Like some people, I lived in a haunted house. Some people, when they live in a haunted house, the ghost follows them to their next one. I thankfully did not have that happen.
Do you think
And
whoever lives there at your house is experiencing stuff now, or you think it went away?
so, I don't know who bought the home. I think that it might have been turned into an Airbnb or a rental. If it did, I can't say that people would pay enough attention to note it.
Sophia, I'm coming. Mike and I are going to be renting that Airbnb.
So I think it depends on that also, and I've said this on a
Mhm.
few other radio shows, but a lot of my neighbors were gay. And so if two
Mhm.
men bought the home, I don't think they would probably experience any activity. That ghost was solely focused on women. My dad had no experiences whatsoever. And
Right.
it was really only focused on women. It was very much he was
So
creepy, he was unnerving, and he
Right.
only focused on females.
me and Eric tried to test this theory a couple times, and I agree with you. I think it varies and depends on the reason that the spirit is still there. Like if they're really attached to the location itself,
Mhm.
and it gets torn down, they might move on. They say, all right, you know what, now it's time for me to go. But I also
we
feel
know one location that's not like that.
that's right.
Mhm.
And I was just going to mention that. And Eric and I wanted to test something, so we went to the Broward County Correctional Facility where it was torn down here in South Florida.
Women's
And-
correctional facility. Have you ever
and they
seen the
had-
movie Monster
No, I
with
have not.
Charlize Theron, the woman serial killer?
I've heard about it.
She
Eileen
won
Wuornos,
Academy
correct?
Award.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
she was locked up there.
She was locked up there. She
Yeah.
wasn't executed there. She was executed up in
Mhm.
Stark. But this prison did have a death row.
Yeah.
And so Eric's been there when it was standing. I have not, but we went back to the rubble. Like that's just a field now,
Mhm.
and there's rubble there, and you could tell. Really, I'll make a long story kind of short, but we went there and we went with our psychic medium Joe, and we said just kind of wander off until you feel like a good spot, and then we'll set up. And he kind of wandered over here and said, I feel like something's going on over here. We started doing an EVP session, and we got a Class A, probably one of the best EVPs that we ever captured. And Eric captured it, and it says, "Please help me," clear as day in a woman's voice. And it was just us guys that were there
In the middle of the night.
in the middle of the night in the field where this. And then we went on Google Earth and looked where we were standing because the building's still there, and we were in death row.
Oh, wow.
We were standing on death row where Joe took us to. So
Yeah,
and he
sure.
didn't, and he was never there when it was a building.
I think too, also there's kind of like that thing where you have to figure out what's residual and what's not. And
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that goes along with the hauntings too, is,
Mhm.
some spirits may be intelligent enough to move on, some are obstinate enough to not, but also what is just there, like Gettysburg, the war reenacts over and over again. And so
We'll
it's
be
one of
there.
those things. Yeah. I mean, there's so much history. It's amazing, but it's one of those things too, where it's like, what is
Yeah, is
intelligent and
this
what's just
intelligent haunting? Is
imprinted.
It's probably
residual?
everything. It's probably
Mhm,
everything.
absolutely.
How many people died there? 60,000 people or 50,000 or something like that,
Yeah, you
in
got
Gettysburg?
all kinds.
Well, we're going to the Gettysburg Bash. We're actually doing the memorial there, and I don't know about the park and the Rangers, but Mike and I are gonna. Remember, we were talking about something with the credit card. We're gonna do something like that over there.
Go for a
Remember,
walk.
we were talking about like the credit card and getting into places in the studio. So we're gonna like push our limits, but not to where we won't get into serious trouble. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna drop that. So.
You got to plead the fifth on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Right. We're gonna have people following us all over Gettysburg.
No, I mean we're not going to go anywhere. We're not going to go anywhere we're not supposed to.
We know
But
those
there-
guys.
but it would
They're
be it would be cool to just take a little walk, at night.
Yeah,
see
the
what we see.
battlefield. I don't know.
I mean, technically, you entered death row and you weren't supposed to, so
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
that's why
well,
they're
actually,
asking you for help.
Yeah, true. But yeah, no, I mean, so that's like a whole nother thing, right? Like residual hauntings, and you have intelligent
Mhm.
hauntings and different things like that, and trying to figure out what's what and what's going on. And it's just there's definitely something going on there, that's for sure.
So, other than the
100%.
Queen Mary, like, what's your like second? Because I know that's your top place. What's another place that you really like that you've investigated or that you go quite often? I think you mentioned that you're a tour guide or were a tour guide at the LA Police Museum.
Yeah, so I hosted with Rick McCallum, back a few years ago, an event, ghost hunt at the LA Police Museum, which was a lot of fun. They have some mannequins there from the North Hollywood shootout, and those are so creepy. They have the actual
Why do haunted places have mannequins? I don't know. It's like
Well,
everything.
okay, but it's even worse though, right? Because the mannequins are wearing ski masks. They're wearing
Oh,
the
wow.
actual attire that the shooters from the North Hollywood shootout were wearing the day that
Oh,
they died. So it
wow.
has bullet
Okay.
holes in it, and it just gives off this like really intense,
Eerie
creepy
vibe,
vibe.
yeah.
Mhm.
Which is it's so crazy. So I mean, that was an incredible investigation. And so that's a really interesting place. I would say if I had to choose like another favorite, it would probably be the Glen Tavern Inn in Santa Paula, California, because I had like one of my craziest experiences ever there.
Oh,
I
wow.
love film, and they have like a bunch of old movie posters there. I'm not really sure why. And I was walking down, if you're on the first floor and are walking in through the front doors, on the right-hand side, there's a hallway. So I was looking at the old movie posters, and the further down the hallway I went, my throat was getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And I was like, okay, I don't want to find out what happens when I walk to the end of the hallway. So I told my mom this, and she was like, I'm going to go ask what happened. And I wasn't investigating at the time. So I'm like, let's not. And she went to the front desk person, who was Brandon Alvis, and she goes, what happened down there? And he goes, oh, the groundskeeper hung himself on the floor above 4 years prior.
Oh, wow.
So I guess I was picking up on that. And that for me is just a weird experience because, like I said, I was not investigating.
Your throat
Yeah,
hit
I
tight,
was.
and then
I was just looking at movie posters, just trying to be like a normal person for like a minute before you get into the event, because I was there for a con event with Debbie Constantino.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it was just really weird. It was crazy to have that experience. That's like the first and only time I've had that happen.
Yeah, I feel if spirits can sense that maybe you're a little bit open and they can reach out to you, they're going to do it, compared to someone that's like closed-minded like Mike and I. Well, we're not closed-minded. We're working on it though.
Well,
Mike's sensitive. He has a sensitive heart though.
Well, I think for me too, since I lived in a haunted house, I am closed off on investigations because like I'm going into the mindset like I don't need this coming with me.
Yeah,
So I think
you're
like
wondering, like you're like sort of like on your tippy toes, like what's gonna happen, I don't want anything bad,
But say in that instance, I was not investigating. I was trying to be like a normal person, looking at movie posters, like see if they had a glass bottom boat one or something, or someone like it hot. And so I think in that moment I'm a lot more open in a haunted location than when I am investigating. So I think it's one of those things where I have a lot more happen when I'm literally not investigating because I'm not trying to actively not do something.
What about instead of it being a dark place, what if the place is active but it's just basically happy moments, Have you ever been to those type of places, and how do you feel about those type places? Does it affect you any differently?
I would say I'm unlucky. Like anytime I see a ghost, it's like a shadow person in like the Queen Mary Pool area. So I don't know if that's just a me thing or what, but I think that I think with a lot of things, it's for me, if a ghost wants me to know it's there, it will. And I think in my case, it seems to be the ones that kind of are a little terrible. And so when it's a happy ghost, if they're happy, they're usually content doing what they're currently doing. And, you do get them coming through on like the EVPs or the Ovilus or something. So it doesn't affect me any differently because I think it's the type of ghost and the type of tension they want. Whereas a happy ghost isn't probably trying to seek it out because they're content in their afterlife, or they don't feel a need to reach out to anyone because they don't have anything they are having a problem with. Hey, April.
Oh, congratulations for being on Ghosted Magazine.
Well, congratulations to you guys.
Yeah, we're on. I believe we're in July, right? Right, Mike?
It's not official yet. They weren't. She didn't announce
it. It's
anything
coming.
yet.
It's coming.
Yeah, she did the live just before this.
Oh yeah, she said.
Yeah, you guys. I saw the cover. You guys were on the cover. I know. I watched. I got your back.
Oh, cool. Very cool. All right. So yeah, so we're actually having April and Michael on the show on the 1st. And we're gonna talk about Ghosted Magazine. But April's awesome. I've known April for a while, and she's like one of my favorite people in the paranormal world.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. I love April. I saw her on Facebook one day and it said the psychic housewife of New Jersey, and I said, I have to have her on.
She's the real deal. If you want to see something freaking amazing that'll blow your mind away, if you go back to our earlier episodes when April was our first guest, we did a drawing for someone to have a reading, like just some random person. And this person was from Canada. So April's never met this person before. And oh my God, she was on the money.
Blew my mind.
Both of our jaws were dropping. The lady that was getting the reading was getting all emotional. It was just, and people in the chat were getting emotional. It was crazy.
It was so great, crazy. Yeah, Eric, we do have to get into that clip.
I got that clip for you, April.
It was literally changed my perception of psychic mediums. And I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of people out there that are full of BS. And it's very rare to find a good one, you know, and by far she blew my mind and is absolutely amazing to me.
Oh yeah, she's great.
She's amazing. We have mediums on our team and they help us out. So nothing's better when they're reading on something and your equipment's verifying on that. But we there's a lot of people, like Mike said, that claim to be what they are. So we have to put them through like the rigors because, you know, we're helping people and we want to make sure we got the right people in place.
You guys want to hear something funny? I'm not going to mention any names, but you know, sometimes when we're adding people to the team, we'll have like meet and greets. And we had somebody come out and she was claiming to be a psychic medium. So they go walk around and they went out walking around with our founders at the cemetery just because it's easy place where a lot of people can kind of meet and you know.
This is funny. It's hilarious.
So the lady was telling our co-founder, oh, this person died like this person was attacked, and like kind of going on about the person's story. And they looked down and noticed there was no death date. It was just a plot that somebody paid for, you know, for later when they do pass. And it was like next to the wife that was there, but the husband wasn't there yet. It was just a plot. And she was talking about the plot that nobody was in. And then later they kind of came to us and was like, yeah, no.
Yeah. And she referred us a residential case that was a residential from hell.
Yeah. So, but
sometimes the people are scarier than a ghost. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But I mean, as far as like when it comes to like being, some people don't like that phrase, but being sensitive and stuff like that. I say I'm not, but I when something heavy is going on and there's something dark there, I will feel like a heaviness on my chest and kind of feel like something's going on. What would you say would be one of your top?
Time out real quick. I gotta get into compliant mode. So yeah, we got to do this every show. We can't forget. So the KGRA digital broadcasting listeners that are on the radio show listening, you're going to be moving on to the next show. But if you want to continue and listen or watch our show, you can go to the War Party Paranormal YouTube channel. Also, to our people. I didn't say you people, Mike. I said our people. See, that sounds better, right?
No,
our people. They are our people, and we want more people. So, yeah, check out KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. Say that 5 times real fast. Check them out. I believe they have a free trial. They got amazing shows. If you're stuck in traffic, you can listen to Sophia Bishop Long, Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures. Bishop Long, he has a show there. They got shows on cryptids, the paranormal, spiritualism, all kinds of things. So definitely check them out.
No, you guys got it set up.
Yeah, we're very lucky to be here. We're very proud of where we work. And Chanel, how did I do? Did I do good? Did I plug it well? All right. Fantastic. Awesome. What were we talking about?
No idea.
You guys were talking a little bit about residential, and then you were asking a question, Mike.
I think you kind of already answered it with Eric, but I was going to say, like, if like, what's how about this? Instead of like, what is one of the places that it's like on your bucket list that you'd have to check out that you haven't been to yet, but you're like dying to get there?
Miami, Florida.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many places on the East Coast. I've talked to April about this before too. You know, that I really would love to get out there. There's like one location that just pops in my mind every time someone asks, but I really want to work on a project there, so I can't say it. So it like kills me every time. But I mean, really, there's so many places on the East Coast.
In the US or outside the US?
Oh, no, this location's in the US.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, there's so many amazing places. I really haven't been outside of the West Coast. So like you guys said, I started at 8. So, you know, I'm juggling school and then high school, middle school, with all of this. So
spring break.
Yeah, as an adult, it's more something I guess I can put my heart and soul into fully, where it's not
Yeah.
my heart and soul being sucked out by whatever math class I'm in.
What are you
So,
studying, by the way? I'm just curious.
oh, I didn't go to college.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
but you're not in school now?
No, I'm not in school.
Oh, okay.
I
All
know.
right. Well,
Speaking
that
of
means
trauma,
more
that
ghost
was
hunting for you.
no, I'm talking about the trauma that the math classes through the years left on me. It's still imprinted
Uh,
forever. Yeah, no, not my subject.
well,
But
if you come here, we'll take you to a haunted school called the Old Davy Schoolhouse. And one of the best EVPs I ever got was, what was your favorite subject? And I got math. So maybe we can get these spirits to convert your perception on math.
oh god, that's not
Yeah.
gonna happen. My
Ain't
dad,
happening.
it runs in the family. My dad, he went to college. He had to have his math class waived because like he didn't get it so many times. The school's like, he's not gonna graduate at this rate.
Oh, wow.
So mine's like really deep ingrained. So that's like,
Is your
oh
dad
my
a
God.
musician?
Yeah, he's a drummer.
Oh, okay. He looks like a rocker.
Yeah, he was asked to be a part of like some band called Fate's Warning back in the day.
Oh,
And
okay.
we, like I said, he's adopted. We recently found his birth family, and yeah, it is weird, the nature versus nurture. My grandfather's a drummer, my uncle's a
Oh,
drummer,
wow.
my
Oh, wow.
cousin's a drummer.
That's
So the
crazy.
entertainment really runs deep. My grandfather was in a movie with Elvis. He played at the Grand Ole Opry. So it's like just
Nice.
crazy how deep it goes. I did not get the drummer gene, which I'm very thankful for. That's a very big instrument to pick up.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Now,
my dad,
do your parents get into the investigation as well, or that's pretty much all you?
no, they investigate with me as well. We pretty
Okay.
much do everything together. My mom
Nice.
prefers to stay off camera, so even if I am
Okay.
investigating, she was there the night of Ghost Adventures.
Mhm.
She just hid in a corner. She was there the
Oh, okay.
whole evening. And my dad, he helps me with the show every week. We do investigate together, but my parents prefer to like stay out of the camera nowadays. They
Okay.
just like to support me. And like speaking of investigating, I had seen
That's very
someone
cool.
in the comment earlier bring up residential
Mhm.
and what I would do to help someone. So for me personally, I'm 25. I started at 8. I think that residential is really such a sensitive subject.
Mhm.
As someone
You're
that lived
dealing
in a
with
haunted
people's
house,
lives.
yeah, you're dealing with. So my father was adopted. He grew up in the house we used to live in, but his adoptive father was a paranoid schizophrenic. And I do think whatever was in the house was preying on his mental illness to a certain extent too. And so when you're dealing with residential, you're dealing with people that may have a mental illness and there's nothing wrong, people that are scared and it can be debunked, like, the faucet's leaking, or someone with mental
Right.
illness that is living in a haunted house or haunted house. There's so many different options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think when you're dealing with families, with young children or something, I think
Oh,
you have to have
yeah.
a certain set of life skills that me as
Yeah,
a
you do.
25-year-old, I don't have. And
Yeah.
so I don't do them out of respect for the people involved and myself.
And
I
that's
think
You have to have
well,
have the right personality. You're dealing
I
with
was
Mhm.
people.
I was gonna say, for you to say that is like I respect that a lot because that's one of the things I ask when people ask me, do you have any advice for not necessarily that you're new to the field, but it's a question that I get asked. Like if somebody's new to the field, what advice would you? I say, don't jump into residentials. Don't just keep that for something way down the road, or if
Mhm.
you don't feel comfortable or anything like that, because this is people's lives. You're their last resort.
Mhm.
There's something going on, and just like you said, not only could it also be, it could be just mental illness, it could be haunting with mental illness, it could be
Drug
drugs and
addiction,
alcohol,
abuse.
and it could be
A lot of
dysfunction.
times that's
But
what it is. That's what we run into.
but it also could be a haunting and dysfunction, and
Yeah.
then you got to navigate
Mhm.
that road, and it's not fun sometimes. I mean, the
Yeah.
outcome is sometimes, to help the
It
person
can
is what you're
fuel
trying
the
to
dark
do,
energy.
but it's not
Yeah.
fun. I mean, we've left some residentials where there was a lot of dysfunction going on, and you're just like, man, I didn't
We
want to
gotta
see all
tell
that.
people, like, listen, you gotta straighten out your life before we can do anything. You gotta, like, kiss your wife every day, give her a hug,
Yeah.
play with your kids, clean up your house, make yourself feel better, open up the windows, let some light in. It's just like it's a lot of it's just like a state of mind. And um when they're like in that situation, I believe that just feeds the dark energy sometimes. And then we get people like I believe the past two residential cases, Mike and I, there was just alcohol and drug abuse, and pretty much we got to be counselors. The good thing is that we got people that we know that can refer them to, that are professionals that can help them.
Yeah, and I just think at this point in my life, I'm still trying to figure out my own life and grow as
Right.
a person,
Yeah.
and I just don't think I have the abilities to help someone in that case. And honestly,
Yeah.
too, even though I joke about the trauma I experienced in my haunted house, it was very traumatic, and I just think dealing with someone who would be currently going through that, it would probably
Mhm.
be too much for me. Just
Yeah.
kind
It's a
of
lot.
reopening a
It
wound.
is.
And
It's intense.
so
Yeah.
I
You're
personally
still
wouldn't.
learning, you're still
Yeah.
learning life,
And
finding your
so
way.
as much as I love investigating, I do not under any circumstances do residential for multiple reasons. If someone needed help, I would definitely pass them along to someone else who's much more capable than I. I had someone from high school reach out to me a few years ago, and uh, they were dealing with a ghost in their house. And so I called up one of my psychic friends, Harvey Althouse, and I'm like, hey, can you tell me what's going on there? Because he's a remote viewer.
Mhm.
And her and her friend were debating on a personal topic regarding her friend, and she was scared by this ghost, and Harvey said, this ghost is not mean, it is not harmful, it's a
Mhm.
little boy, and what he's being mischievous, but what he's trying to do is distract you from what's going on in your life. He's trying to
Yeah.
get you to stop focusing on this topic. And
Right.
he was right, and it wasn't a bad
Mhm.
spirit, and that did help her have comfort. So I was able to help in that sense of kind of middlemaning. But when it comes to actually investigating, I absolutely don't do that, because I do think you really, if you're going to take it seriously, you need to understand where you're at in your personal life and
Exactly.
really evaluate that. Because
Yeah.
as much as so many people want to go out there and help, you can't help if you don't understand what you're walking into, what you
Right.
could be walking into, and
Mhm.
if you have the emotional and a mental capacity to actually handle that situation.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, definitely.
100%. 100%. And I think a lot of people also don't realize, and we were lucky enough to have mentors that were founders of War Party that have been doing residential cases for.
Have you heard of Tim Yancey?
Yeah, I've seen him
He
around.
passed away recently. He was our pastor on our team. He
Mhm.
used to work with the Warrens back in the day.
Oh, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and then we just
He's an
lost
amazing
Scotty,
person.
our co-founder too. But she and Zap, the three of them have been doing residentials for God knows how long, and
Together
those,
like 100 years, maybe
yeah.
200.
Mhm.
Just joking.
and they kind of taught us, so that's having that. If I didn't have them to show us what the way
Yeah.
that they conduct them, I don't think I would do them either.
Yep. And Scotty still lives on. We pass on what we learned to her to other people. So
Well, I'm sorry for that loss as well, but it is great
We
that,
appreciate it.
you're able to carry on her memory and what she taught you to the next generations. Because
yeah.
like you said, the things that people taught you in life, is how they live on, what they've
Yeah,
left.
exactly. Yeah.
Like talking about my aunt earlier, she passed away a year ago, not last November, but the November before
Sorry to hear
that.
that.
And thank
Sorry to
you.
hear that.
But she was I talk about her on radio shows a lot, and she was amazing. And just talking about her and carrying on her memory means that, there's still a piece of her there. That
Of
the
course.
impact she
Yeah.
left on my life, and same with Tim and Scotty
Yeah.
for you. It's the impact they leave that, still
Right.
keeps them around and
Right.
a
Absolutely.
part of your life.
That's why you're so smart.
Thank
You
you.
are.
Don't
I'm
ask my
very
math
impressed.
teacher
Very
that. He wouldn't
impressed.
agree.
We hate math here, so we don't need math for ghost sending.
Oh, thank
Unless
God. Oh
unless we're
my
counting
God.
how many recorders we're bringing or something
Oh,
like
I would have
that.
quit like a long time ago if it involved that. I'd be like, I'm out. I look at the new tech and I mean, I'm a gamer, but like, I can't build a PC. Like, I mean, I have one, but I had to like buy a pre-built. Like, some things are a little bit beyond me, and some of the tech, I'm just looking at it like, I don't know what that means.
So you know what you guys have you and your parents have an open invitation to come down south anytime you guys want. We'll take you ghost hunting, and then after we can drink mojitos. Palm trees and ghosts. There you go.
Well, that would be great. I mean, yeah, come to California too. We can go to Queen
Awesome.
Mary. You guys can
Oh,
come check
I
it
definitely
out.
want to go there.
Yeah, that's one
See,
of the spots I've always wanted to check out.
Have you
for
ever
sure.
worked with Patty Negree?
so I've had her on my radio show before, and I've done interviews with her, like you like a group interview.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't met her in person. I will actually be at an event with her this October, the OC
Oh my
Paracon.
God, you're gonna love
So
her.
yeah, no, she's wonderful. She actually grew up like one city over from me, so we
Oh,
like
really?
kind of like went around the same schools and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I
She
can't
got
wait to meet her. She's a
Yeah, you'll
wonderful
love her.
person.
She brought us on Paraflix. I met her. I was invited to speak at an event in Lake Tahoe, and that's where I first met her. And we hit it off, and then we hung out in Virginia City. So she's like down to earth. Like people won't believe like how down to earth she is, but she's an amazing person. Just like April too.
Yeah, no, I mean they're so great.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been lucky to meet so many amazing people in this field.
Yeah,
And
there are a lot. There's
there's
paradrama, but there's a lot of amazing people too.
yeah, I know there is paradrama. I see people posting about it, and sometimes I like honestly don't even know what they're talking about. So
I
like I'm
know, right?
super
I know
out
Stay
of
out of it.
we stay out
I'm
of all that.
so out of it that I just like what? But I mean the people I know are incredible. They're so amazing,
Yeah,
so
they are.
supportive. So I'm really excited to be able to meet Patty in person this October, like I said, at the OC Paracon. And April, I will have to meet sooner than later. She's like you said, like great and just like one of
We'll
those
fly
really
over
cool
there and
people.
drag April with us. And
Yeah,
we'll
you
bring
have
Patty
to.
along with us.
She wants to sleep on my couch for some reason. I wouldn't recommend it, but she really
No,
wants to.
we'll look for a haunted Airbnb or something like that.
Yeah, so I
Your
mean it's
former house. Your former house. We'll stay there.
oh my god, I'll be like
We'll get Patty to do a seance.
yeah, I'll pretend that house has the bubonic plague. You'll find me like in Florida.
Oh hell no.
I'm like, gotta
It's
reel
funny.
that in.
It's funny. We had these two amazing twins from Atlanta, Georgia, and they're paranormal investigators, but they're also
Mhm.
sensitive. And they were telling us how they were saying like there was a house that they were going to investigate, and the people that were there were saying, well, there's something satanic and that's going on, or demonic that's going on there, and we want you to go in there. So if you can try to cleanse it, or sense what's going on there. And they're like, there's demons in there. We're not going in there. You just said
They're
there's
like, "Hell
demons.
no."
There's no way. We're not going in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I understand where
Yeah.
you're coming from when you mention how there's certain places like that.
Yeah, I like people are like, well, how do you gauge? I mean, you really can't. You don't know what you're walking into in the paranormal in any sense,
You
but like
gauge when it's time to turn around and leave, right?
yeah, well, also like like I said earlier, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna go to Goatman Bridge and see what's there. Like, no, if I can avoid that, I'll try to. So it's
Yeah.
also about picking and choosing. Like you said, a schoolhouse that should be. I mean, I haven't been there, but that should be pretty innocuous to go to.
It
But
is, yeah. We host
Goatman
Yeah.
a
Bridge wouldn't say the same. So it's also kind of
Right.
about knowing enough of the history to go in there and know what you're walking into.
Yeah, Mike, if they do come, we won't take them to the Devil's Tree. That's for sure.
yeah, no.
I have chihuahuas. It's almost like I've been there.
Very cool.
Yeah, the Devil's Tree is bad news. That's for sure.
Yeah, a lot of bad things happen. It's about a serial killer who pretty much slaughtered women at this tree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
I don't think he and I would probably like each other.
No, I don't think
I think
so.
I'm okay. I think I'm good on that one. So you're definitely right. The school seems great unless
Yeah, the
someone
school, and you would like Yesteryear Village. Also, we got a We got a railroad museum that used to be a naval base. That's pretty cool too. And the naval base is gone, but they built a museum there. It's a smaller hangar with all these different rail cars. And they got a rail car that's a presidential car, the Magellan that Truman, Roosevelt, Ronald Reagan, they all rode in. They got a California Zephyr car, like a double decker. They have Army medical car or segregation car. So it's a pretty cool place.
Yeah,
Nothing
it's
there will hurt you.
awesome. I mean, just
Yep.
to, when you get to see that, like you were mentioning the LA Police Museum, I mean, even though the
Yeah,
mannequins
that
were
sounds very
super
cool.
creepy and felt borderline unnecessary, it's great just
Borderline
to,
unnecessary.
learn the history. Like, in the
Mhm.
museum, we have a whole section dedicated to Patty Hearst, that case, and I didn't know anything about that when I went into the museum, and so,
Right.
going there with my parents, for that investigation, I was able to get to learn about a lot of things that happened not far away from where I lived and just were completely unaware of.
Yeah.
I've been to the David Oman house, and when I first met him at an event, and he goes, "I live close to where the Manson murders were," and I honestly was like probably 12 or 13. I had no idea what those were,
Mhm.
so
It's probably a
I'm
good
like,
thing.
I'm like thinking of like a Victorian mansion or something like really like
Mhm.
old and so
It's like
through the
retro, like
through the paranormal and museums like that are haunted, you really get to learn a lot about things that maybe are super famous and you didn't hear of, or things that happen nearby. And I think that's really the great thing too, because I can beat my dad in Jeopardy now with questions. So really helpful.
yeah, yeah. So we're at the time of the show. We're coming to the end. Sophia, do you have anything that's up and coming? Anything you want to plug? Let people know where they can find you, things like that. Plug
Well,
yourself like crazy.
well, I have some really cool upcoming guests on my radio show this Saturday. I don't know if you've heard
Awesome.
of them. War Party
No.
Paranormal.
Oh, really? War Party Paranormal?
Yeah, they're super great guys. I think you would like them if you want to
I'd
listen
have
to
to
Yeah,
them.
I'd have to look
I
out
heard
for that
they're
one.
amazing. I heard they're
So,
very
I would
amazing.
definitely check that out, my radio show, The
Very
Ghost
cool.
Host on liveparanormal.com this Saturday, 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. GMT. You can listen to archive shows, blogtalkradio.com, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes podcast. You can listen to some previous shows that we filmed on the Ghost Host Sophia Temperilli YouTube channel. I'm on Instagram at Sophia Temperilli, Facebook, Sophia Temperilli, Twitter at Sophia Temperilli with 1L. You can also check out the Ghost Host Sophia Temperilli on Facebook and see what our upcoming guests are, like War Party Paranormal. And also the week after that, Joshua Adia. I saw him in the comments, so Joshua, didn't forget
Very
about
cool.
you. And Ghost Host Show on Twitter. Yeah, like I said, I'll be at the OC Paracon this October, so you guys can check it out and buy tickets. I was recently in Ghosted Magazine, the last
Check it out.
issue,
Free
and
subscription.
Women on the Fringe, Groundbreaking Women in the Paranormal. My life story was put in that book, so that's what I've been
Oh,
up to
very
recently.
cool.
Awesome.
Well, you're my favorite paranormal investigator now.
Well, thank you. I mean,
Well,
I'm pretty
well,
excited.
I gotta put you at second because my girlfriend will get mad. But you're like
Hey,
right there.
that's respect right there.
At least I'm third, right?
Mike's up there too. It's almost like a three-way tie.
Well, hey, you know what? It's better not to pick favorites because you don't know who the ghost favor and you don't want to be on their bad side.
No,
Yeah,
no, we
exactly.
don't.
But
And that's why
yeah.
you're the ghost host. That's why we're friendly to you.
Yeah, well, hey, you know what? I can't wait to talk to you guys and get to hear your side of the story next. Well, this
Awesome.
week, actually.
Yeah, no,
It's
I'm looking
Monday.
forward to it. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
we're
fun.
definitely looking forward to it.
So yeah,
guys,
I appreciate you guys.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Thanks for
No,
being
we
our
appreciate
guest.
you. And guys, if you guys want to check out any of my personal content or any of my social media, the easiest way is if you go to flaparanormalresearcher.com. It has links out to all my social media. I have some upcoming stuff. I have a blog, some of the stuff that's going on with the Haunted Files on Paraflix, links to merch and different things like that. Also links to the War Party Paranormal website and a list of different investigation teams throughout the country. If you're looking for help, we can help you out through War Party. And we have some upcoming events too, but I'll let Eric tell you about that.
Yeah, we got an event coming the 22nd, Sophia, in West Palm Beach at Yesteryear Village. Sophia, this is like the Disney World of ghost hunting. What it is, it's a living village. It's a bunch of historical. Oh, you're gonna love this. It's a bunch of historical
Mhm.
buildings that were going to get torn down, and they moved them all to this one location. So they call it Yesteryear Village. They got an old school looking church that has activity. There's a fire museum there. There's a pineapple processing plant that where a Civil War soldier got shot and killed there, and his blood still remains on the wooden floors. And remember, we were talking about like we got that 6 degree of connection with Ghost Adventures, Zach Bagans. Well, they have the Riddle House. That was season 1, episode 3. They
Something like that.
investigated the Riddle House, which used to be
In
a
08.
funeral parlor
Mhm.
that was out east, closer towards the beach. And it was on a cemetery, and they moved that over to Yesteryear Village. And the story that happens there is that there's a little boy that fell out the second story window named Jacob. Friendly ghost. He still remains there. We do have a bad ghost, but he doesn't like men, so he likes women. So you would like that. And his name is Joseph.
Wonderful.
And Joseph, no, he's like a flirty. He's not bad or anything like that. It's a flirt. If you bring alcohol and you tell him
He's
you
not
would
a
give
he's
him-
not a bad ghost, but I would say that he's just frustrated with the situation that happened. There's a
Yeah.
lot to the history, but he's not
was a-
harmful.
Yeah, he was a cemetery worker that got accused for stealing, and he hung himself up in the 3rd floor attic. Some people think maybe he was they hung because he stole money. You don't know, but he's a very angry gentleman. And they had locked up the attic. They wouldn't let anyone investigate there ever since Ghost Adventures. And
Mhm.
we're actually the first team that were able to go up there and investigate it. So that's pretty cool.
That is really cool, and I'm sure the ghost and I would get along fine because if he was being flirty, I probably wouldn't even know.
Yeah, maybe. And then
I'd just be like, "What's he saying?"
I know, right? He'll be saying bourbon and whiskey a lot.
I don't drink, so I'd just be like, "You're who?"
Exactly.
I'd be like,
right?
"Dr. Pepper?"
It's like that'll be excellent. That'll be a great mixer.
Yeah, I'd be. You wouldn't. You know what, Dr. Pepper? You don't have to mix with anything. That's the wonderful part. I'm just sorry. I'm
Exactly.
obsessed with Dr. Pepper.
All right. So, and then for my stuff, I'm Ghost Hunter of South Florida. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And yeah, I think that's about it. Did we get everything covered, Mike?
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks again,
Yeah.
Sophia. You were amazing.
Well, thank
We'll
you for
see you
having
next
me
week.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we'll
totally
see you
appreciate
this
it. Thank you.
weekend. I can't
wait.
wait.
All
All
right.
right, looking forward to it. Let's take
Thanks,
it on
guys.
home. And hey, guys, we'll see you guys next Monday. Stay spooky.